Tattletales can be a huge challenge to work with. You get a constant barrage of he did, she did, there, and it goes on, and your intention is taken by them frequently. Children are great by their very nature, and we have the privilege and responsibility of raising them. It can be challenging at times. Let's talk about it. Hi, I'm Cynthia Armstrong. I'm a general and a special education teacher. I homeschooled my own children for 5 years, and the things I talk about are those things that I've researched, I've studied, I've applied, found what works and doesn't work, and that I am offering to you as a way to help you to more quickly learn the things that I have gone through the ringer to learn. Okay, so tattletales can be really draining if it's that constant come help me, right? Oh, they scratched me, they hit me, they stuck their tongue at me, and there's like a whole litany where just about anything anybody does is something they need to come tell you about. And that's the tattletale that wants you to rescue them, to save them, to make everything better for them. And that can really be a challenge with that always needing your attention. And then if you look at what's happening with the child, this type of tattletale, and there's a couple types, is really in that victim mode where they're not really taking care of things themselves. And if you look at the 6 psychological needs that I've gone over before, it's not necessarily that they're not capable. It could possibly be one of the things is that they could be just wanting that love and connection, and they learn to get love and connection from you because you will go and rescue them. So that's just one possible. It could be that they really get safety from that. Well, I know the adult will take care of it, and I don't necessarily trust myself to be safe with that. Or it could be any of them. So it's a matter of like really looking at the situation. But when it comes to those constant tattletales that need me to go in and rescue them, I don't. And always look at the situation, right? If a child's sick, if they're really having an off day and maybe they didn't sleep well, if there's been a huge transition, if grandma's staying over for a week, if there's been a recent death, if they've recently moved, take a look at the situations. And when I talk about these tattletales and things you can do, please look at the whole situation and decide for yourself when this is appropriate to apply. Okay, so that said, when they come to me, I do not immediately go rescue them. They hit me, they scratched me, they did da 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 da, and they make that list of grievances. Then I will talk to them about, well, what have you tried? I've asked them to stop. And then if they've asked them to stop and they come back to me, then we'll talk about, well, what kind of a voice did you use? Did you use and you'll hear, oh, stop, stop, and kids could possibly go into this soft voice and this like fearful avoidance kind of thing. And so we'll look at, well, what type of voice did you use? And Depending on the age of the child, with the younger ones, I do give them in the super incremental. But if it's an older child, then I might give them more than one part. So we might talk about the voice and the body language at the same time. If it's a younger child, it's just, did you ask them to stop, or tell them? We don't ask, like, will you stop? It's stop, right? And then, did you use that tone of voice? And then also, did you put your body behind it? You know, were you, again, caved in? Did you stand strong? I teach a lot of kids to put out their hand and like stop and use that voice. They don't, and we talk about not being angry or mean, but to be like serious and assertive. And so we'll go through those. And as they come back to me, again, the younger ones, I'll give them one step at a time and just step them up incrementally. And for the older kids, depending on the age and, you know, how I feel the child is, I will give them more than one step at a time. And when I'm working with the younger children, maybe today I only give them the words, and then I will go in and help them to solve the problem. Or then the next day I might give them the words and the tone, or the words and the body language. And then I might go in and help if they weren't able to solve it. But then, you know, once I give them all three, then we'll go into some other things like, well, you get to decide, you know, is that a person you want to hang out with? And they might continue to do that, and you'll choose to be with them, or are you going to choose to be somewhere else? And so, you know, I don't want anyone to be bullied. I always keep an eye, like once they tattle, you know, keeping an eye on it, but I'm not going in immediately and rescuing them. I'm giving them steps that they can use to learn to manage that situation and to feel empowered on their own. Because guess what? Even as adults, we have adults that are grumpy or don't treat us well or try and get away with things. And are we supposed to go to our spouse or go to our parents as adults and say, oh, this is happening at work, or this is happening at the grocery line? Or, you know, we want to empower our children, and to do it in an assertive but a kind way. And again, it ultimately comes down to those decisions. Am I wanting to be with this person, or am I wanting to be somewhere else? Okay, and then just in these last couple minutes, I'll talk about the second most common type of tattletale. And that's often those kids that get in a lot of trouble themselves, but they take on that kind of adult role, and they notice when everybody else is breaking the rule and they've got to tell the teacher or the parent, right? They've got to say, oh, so-and-so isn't, you know, cleaning up. So-and-so stuck their tongue out at so-and-so, you know, and they're constantly on that monitor for who's breaking the rule. And then I've got to let the parent or the adult know that this child should be in trouble. And so there's different things that we do for those type of tattletales. So when you get those type of tattletales, again, those are often the kids that break a lot of the rules themselves. So you want to, you know, kind of see, you know, what's going on and how often do they break the rules too. And things like this can come from programs around, you know, I've got to make sure the other siblings in my life are following the rules, because I don't want mom or dad to be mad. It could be a type of protection for their siblings or for themselves. It could be, well, I feel better when other people get in trouble because I'm often being told to follow the rules. And so there's like lots of different things that could go on. But with those kind of kiddos, as the adult, and my role as a teacher would be different than my role as a parent, because if it's my role as a parent, am I doing something that's making them fearful or judgmental of their siblings? Like, do I really lose my temper? Do I make them feel shamed for breaking rules or things like that? Then that is what I would need to change in the family. At school, then often it can be that they get to be responsible for yourselves. Where's your focus? Where's your target? I tell them, is your target on the teacher? Is your target on, the material, the book or the whiteboard or whatever, where we're learning at? Or is your target on the other kids? So if you're going to learn, where will your target be? So you're responsible for yourself. And if the teacher needs to say something, then that's the teacher's job. She will figure that out, or he will figure that out. So click the links below if you want to go find out more on my website or my workshop. And remember, children are great by their very natures, and we have that responsibility and that privilege of raising them. Hi friends, Cynthia Armstrong here. Thanks for joining us today. Please make sure that you subscribe to our channel so you can see when new videos come out, and like this one. It is such a responsibility and a challenge to raise great kids, and we are here to help you along that journey to make it as enjoyable and fun and fulfilling as possible. Please check out our website, www.raisinggreatkids.net, and I will leave that in the description below.